Welcome to our channel, where we update the hottest developments and shocking secrets in the scheming world of the young and the restless. In today's video, we will take you to the darkest conspiracy, where Victor does not hesitate to use tricks to destroy his niece's happiness, just to achieve the goal of controlling power. No one has ever underestimated Victor. Those who have done so either disappear from the game of power, or become useless pawns that he himself has eliminated. Victor understands the times, people, and most importantly, the weaknesses of each individual he wants to control. When he realizes that Kyle is gradually becoming an important factor in the fragile connection between the Abbott and Newman families, Victor cannot sit still. He needs Kyle to be distracted, led in another direction, where he can manipulate, control, and ultimately gain the advantage. Audra was the perfect pawn. Smart, ambitious, and dangerously seductive, she always knew how to get what she wanted. But this time, Victor was the one who made the first move. He approached Audra not with power, but with a promise, a private cosmetics company, backed by Victor himself, but bearing her name. A tempting reward that no one could refuse, even Audra, who was still entangled with Nate. Victor did not give a clear order. He only suggested, throwing a sarcastic jab into the conversation like a half-joke, "Why don't you seduce Kyle?" But to Audra, behind every word Victor said was a long-term strategy. She knew that he was never joking. Despite appearing indifferent on the surface, Audra quietly entered the game, with a plan not only to carry out Victor's orders, but also to assert her own position and ambition. Kyle, as usual, fails to see the bigger picture. He is fascinated by the way Audra looks at him, challenging, confident, and full of hidden meaning. At Crimson Lights, a brief conversation is enough to awaken Kyle's once damaged ego. He thinks he's the one making the move. He thinks he's acting to get information for Claire. But in reality, Kyle is being led like a puppet who thinks he's in charge. Jack and Diane, in their conflicted gullibility, encourage Kyle. They want to see their son regain his position. They rejoice when Kyle confidently boasts about his plan to approach Audra. But they don't realize that they, too, are being dragged into a game that Victor has set up all alone. Claire, who initially believed that she and Kyle could share everything, including strategic moves, now begins to feel insecure. She noticed Kyle's eyes changing every time Audra was mentioned. It was no longer a plan to get information, but a temptation that was spiraling out of control. Claire was not someone who could be manipulated easily. She had grown up in tragedy, had been used, had been controlled. Now, she was standing on the fragile line between love and reason. Claire felt Kyle was slipping away, little by little, and the truth was, if he continued to play the game with Audra, their relationship would be irreparable. While Kyle was still immersed in false excitement, Audra had begun another plan. She was not simply seducing Kyle, she was secretly creating a situation that made it look like he was stealing proprietary technology from Newman Media, a dangerous game Kyle had fallen into in the past. But this time, if he was discovered, there would be no one to protect him. No Jack. No Diane. And of course, no Claire. Audra used her clever network of contacts to plant classified documents on Kyle's devices. Every move, every message, every meeting was calculated. She made Kyle think he was investigating Audra, when in fact he was being led into a perfect trap. She sent Kyle hints about a new technology product in development, something Newman Media was keeping strictly confidential. Kyle, in his blind confidence, took notes, and that would be used against him when the time came. Victor, meanwhile, kept a leisurely eye on the developments. He was in no hurry. All the pieces were moving in the right direction. When necessary, he would pit Kyle against his own family, a division he had long cherished. For Victor, divide and conquer was never a theory. It was a survival principle. Claire, in a moment of weakness, goes to Victoria to ask about Audra's past. She begins to have deep suspicions and realizes that Audra is more than just a romantic rival. She is a strategic threat. Claire wants to warn Kyle, but he refuses to listen. He believes that everything is in his hands, and his blindness is causing him to lose everything: faith, love, and ultimately himself. Audra, despite maintaining her image as a charming businesswoman on the outside, was pushing herself to the limit on the inside. she knew she couldn't back down. Once Victor had made a promise, he wouldn't tolerate betrayal. But what Audra didn't expect was that her true feelings were starting to creep in. In an unexpected moment, she realized that Kyle, with all his weakness and lack of control, brought out an emotion she never thought she could feel again: sorrow. This, unconsciously, made Audra's plan more difficult to control than ever. Victor, while not revealing anything, was still in the loop. He had people monitoring Audra and Kyle's every move. If Audra lost her way, he could erase her as if she had never existed. If Kyle failed, it would be a testament to the Abbott family's weakness. But if everything goes according to plan, Victor will have a double victory. He will eliminate the potential threat of Kyle, and he will destroy the fragile alliance between the houses. When the scandal breaks out, which it inevitably will, Kyle will be accused of unauthorized access to confidential information. Audra, if she is wise, will come forward as a whistleblower, maintaining her position and trust with Victor. Claire, heartbroken, will never forgive. And Diane, once again, will be pushed to her limits by seeing her son fall into the same pit of error. Jack, in his frustration, will be publicly humiliated by Victor at a shareholder meeting he has been secretly preparing. This is only the beginning. Victor will not stop at destroying one relationship. He wants to control a whole new generation. Kyle, Claire, Audra, each of them, will have a choice: submit or be destroyed. And in Victor's world, there is no room for weaklings with soft hearts. Subscribe to your channel name so you don't miss any of the drama in The Young and the Restless. Shocking secrets, unexpected twists, and shocking truths, all will be updated here soon.